you say, it's always been kind of one to jump in through these map vetoes throughout Blender so far. And the rest of the selection look good, but it looks as though we're jumping right into it, Cairo, as we start right into this one. Can you remind us of the kind of rules of the Blender format when it comes to agent select?
100%. For those at home wondering, hey, what is Project Blender? Off-season tournament, we have a little bit of a twist. There is agent bans, but it's only agents that you play are banned in this instance. So the agents that you see on screen will not be played in the second map, and that means that the map veto typically is catered towards the controllers. That's why we're seeing both teams lock in an Astra, with Haven up next.
I mean, I still like the Astra pick on Pearl in general, even if it meant that, like, oh, we can't play an Omen or a Viper on the next map. I think Astra is very much viable on the Pearl. It's kind of what we saw on that first series as well. And I think Kamek is kind of one of those Astra players that we look at, the one that's kind of been flexible across a variety of different roles in his career. So I'll be keeping an eye on that head-to-head going up against Mystic, who is, of course, jumping into the server for this Team Liquid Academy, who have retained a lot of their roster from this year, Cairo. I think we look at GSR, Rexstone, they were kind of highlights and challengers this year, and we've got Prox and 1-0, who's kind of been the additions to this team.
Yeah, I love that 1-0 has been added. He was a real highlight from the Tier 2 scene last year, a young player. I mean, obviously with GSR, I find it like incredible that Team Liquid have been able to keep him. Everyone's been saying that he is the God's answer to Valorant, you know what I mean? Like, it seems like he's going to be the next prodigy that we've got up and coming within the scene, and I'm excited to see exactly how that ends up. But with that being said, we kick things off with what looks to be a mid-brawl. 3 players on either side, and GSR finds the answer onto Runner.
Joblife looking to retake a bit of that space and see if they can get a trade on this kill. And it's actually going to go in Team Liquid Academy's favour there. Doma, recent champs appearance, but it's going to fall to the man that you just mentioned at the very start of this series, GSR, being able to pick up 2 already in the first 30 seconds of this round.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to see the journeys that both teams have had so far. Team Liquid Academy were able to beat Na'Vi. They've had to play up against 3 Tier 1 teams so far. There's 3, 2? I think it's 2. Apologies, they lost to Ulf, beat Na'Vi, whereas Joblife, they had to play up against Na'Vi as well. And unfortunately, they lost. So there's similarities here. Team Liquid Academy, just on that metagame, probably you're favouring them in this series.
30 seconds left.
And 5-1 up in player count. I'm expecting that Chia will have a hard time coming back in.
Yeah, I mean, Team Liquid ruined my predictions and by being able to get that win on Na'Vi. But I guess it just goes to show, you know, you keep players together and they really do have strength here. But Chiwa in a 1v5, we know he's great. We've not had a chance to talk too much about him in depth yet, but I think a 1v5 is a tall order to ask. And that's a nice snappy shot coming out from Prox. Team Liquid are going to put the pistol round on the board, which is a good start for them here. I think when you look at the names on Joblife, if we're going to have a quick chat about them going into this second round whilst Team Liquid have a full buy, we look at the names on the Joblife roster and you look at the experience that they have, right? A bunch of global experience on this team, which is crazy to think about. On paper, they look like such a solid team.
I think that's the big thing, right? It feels like so for those who don't know, it was Joblife mix in stage 2, and now it was Joblife into stage 3. You're wondering why the rosters are different. We see a little fight going out, which seems like Team Liquid Academy are dealing with pretty easily. Yeah, the point I was trying to get to is that Joblife, so far, like, they have plenty of experience and quality within this roster. The only thing about it that I would say is the fact that they've not had a lot of time together, and we can actually see that.
For sure.
Like, in terms of like the results they've had, for instance, being 7-2 up against Na'Vi on split, but letting that slip.
For sure. I think experience is what they will have, in the sense that we have a lot of veteran players within this team, but it's just being able to build up that experience and synergy together, I should say. But I mean, with Enzo leading the charge, this was another person that hanging up that mandatory hammer to go and join their rivals in Joblife felt strange, but also much needed, considering that Joblife's IGL did, of course, leave off to go to VCT.
Yeah. Interesting that Stars never even wanted to be IGL, which is the crazy thing. Moved off to be second caller elsewhere. And early on, we're already getting some engagements with Joblife are actually coming out on top of. Doma, under pressure, needs to win out against Mystic, and Enzo's Odin not working out either. That's a big storyline, Mystic versus Enzo. As Mystic calls against his old IGL, seems like Team Liquid Academy are happy to now start to move towards B. Well, I thought it was B. It might actually just be A main.
Yeah, very cautious here. Mystic just looking to give up that space to Joblife and looking to redirect towards mid. However, with this alarm bot still up, Cairo, they've not been able to deal with any sort of sentinel utility this round. It means that it's going to give Joblife an early read on where the attackers are looking to head.
That early read is allowed the Asher to take position, but worried about a player that could potentially have been through water, and that leaves Chiwa now having to hold down the site. A player very clean consistently, and he's even got a kill through his nano swarm. Joblife get the round cleaner than what probably it looked like at the start.
I think Chiwa is probably going to be a key piece of their puzzle, especially starting on this defense, as well as that Enzodin, I believe it's been phrased as. And I think people are really excited to kind of see this Joblife roster come together. I think especially considering we wanted to see Chiwa in VCT last year. He was supposed to be playing on that BBL Esports roster, but of course issues meant that that wasn't possible. Was then brought over to Joblife on loan as well throughout Ascension.
I'm out of here.
And it's a quick round for Joblife to be able to pick up 2 kills already off the bat. Team Liquid, how are you going to recover this one?
It's going to take a lot of mid-rounding, that's for sure. Joblife have already started to play on the front foot as they stack up, but one in the back, taken out. Oh, the trade's not there. And now Mystic knows that Kamek has the space to walk into and control of Spike. Didn't quite see the Astra moving across. He adjusts perfectly, gains the Spike back. The thing is though, Joblife are very quick to take up this fight.
Blocking vision.
Mystic's so cautious here as well, aware that one could have flanked behind him, but with 40 seconds on the clock, Cairo, he's still got a lot of time to play with here. It's just going to be a question of how much synergy have Joblife been able to pick up in the short time that they've spent together. 2v1 for Chiwa and Doma up against Mystic.
30 seconds left.
And even they're curious now. Too much time has passed.
Yeah. It's a little gap which Mystic has been gifted. As both players did look away, but there is a way to dice up the angles for Mystic. Does walk away, time getting low. Unfortunately, went into his cosmic form at the wrong time. Joblife even out.
Astra players know the struggle of finding those timings. It's like he found every single perfect timing to be able to hopefully win that one out, and then gets the worst timing going into that cosmic formation. Yeah, it's just unlucky for Mystic in the end, because it did look as though he was playing that in the way in which you would expect it to be played, especially a player with his experience, of his caliber.
Player standing.
But again, it is the experience that we're looking at on Joblife here that kind of counters that on Team Liquid Academy, despite them having such a good run in Challengers this year.
Yeah. Joblife have not played a lot of games with this roster so far. We've already spoken about that, but they did have to fight their way back from a 1-2 game yesterday where they were potentially knocked out. Given a little bit of time for the roster to have a little bit of cohesiveness. Unfortunately for them, they have just lost a player through art, so that position, that part of the map lost. Runner at least holding on towards A main. Question mark so far on a couple of performances that Runner's been able to put up, but he is starting to win people over in terms of how he can play. But with mission shots like that against Sheriffs, this now opens up the sight for Team Liquid Academy.
And Enzo trying to do anything he can with the Odin, but that smoke could just completely stop any sort of vision for him. And the flash coming out from Rex is great as well, just buying themselves extra time to be able to get that spike plant down.
Spike down and players to retake things back up. A 2 versus 4 disadvantage.
Last
Players
player
with
standing.
what seemed like better weaponry, but they can't even win out against classes. That shows you what Team Liquid Academy can do when they're stripped back. And now as they win a thrifty round, they gain their advantage.
And it felt like it kind of landed on Runner's shoulders there, right? Being able to have that main space, but then losing it out to a Sheriff of Rexstone. And it just made the map feel so much smaller for Joblife in the sense that Team Liquid Academy had full control of A site, they had full main space. You saw Enzo trying to get something off, but with his vision blocked, it was near enough impossible.
I'll return.
Nice entry work from Team Liquid Academy in general. Once again, they find themselves at advantageous positions and need to frisk this site to try and find Chiwa. He knows that is a clone. Takes the gamble on that, but no, not a lot of scaling so far from the attack. They're just happy to wait for any sort of proactivity from the defense. They want that weapon back. You can see already utility starting to go through, trying to clear out what they need.
My God.
Yeah, as Billy has evidently put, or audibly put I should say, Team Liquid Academy absolutely dominate.
Bro, the cheek on GSR to just throw that wall up there and take the fights. I mean,
Yeah.
it's popping right now. Look at the confidence. Those swings coming off the back of it as well. You just can't argue with that when you've got players that are just like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna yeet a wall up here and just face check them. Like, what have I got to lose?
I think the funny thing as well, like I've had a couple of interactions with GSR through like the old 10-man lobbies it was playing, and like the kid is so like funny as well, you know, like he's got like a bit of personality about him. So like I actually can't wait for him, well I assume, to get a VCT opportunity, and already Team Liquid Academy find their entry onto Runner, who was a bit too far in front. Cammy's now to hold on to me, not clear from the corner! At least a trade out. Numbers still even though.
This is how it ends.
Armageddon is going to go through to stop any idea of this plant coming out.
enemy
Oh, he's
remaining.
holding that jump over the wall. He's gotten away with 2 there, Cairo. How is this falling apart for Joblife? It felt as though you had to put the call in place for that Armageddon to come through. And now you've got
Spike
Doma left
planted.
here. 1v3 has an operator. I don't really think he's up for wanting to take this one. Surely not.
You don't fancy it, right? I mean, especially with the health pool. Still has a TP out, but that is running out very quickly. Yep, there you go. Was just looking for something cheeky with that dimensional drift one off, but does need to be careful. Rexstone close by. And this is an important battle. If Rex is able to take the operator offline, Joblife have absolutely nothing.
My
So
ult's ready.
the operator identified, and you can see who's next up. Mystic close. Trying to see if they can get to him in time, but with the spike about to detonate, I think Doma might find himself. Oh, able to escape? Just about.
I like how you're able to escape, had a question mark at the end of that from the tone of your voice. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of wise to keep Doma out there. I do want to see some value come through from that op though.
One
I
enemy.
think this is just really good shots from Mystic as well, being able to kind of catch Joblife with their pants down, so to speak.
Yeah, and I think as well, this is the other thing that we've got to consider. The difference from last game, we did not see a timeout at all. The difference with this game is both teams have two very active coaches, one of which is Larson, who joined Joblife in 2024 and has been signed on for another year in 2026. 3 years he's been with the organisation, and 3 years he's led them to Ascension campaigns, and 24 ended in disaster through circumstances we might not want to talk about. 25, they got all the way through a mix team, really, to be honest, having to use 2 substitutions. What does 26 hold for them, Billy?
Hopefully a lot of success given what they had managed to achieve, and I think that this is potentially a level up on the rosters that they've had previously. We keep talking about the experience, but key point for this Joblife side. And coming into this round, it's a bloodbath in A main already. Lots of utility already been expended, but it is Team Liquid that's going to come out on top. Nice to see a bit of proactivity come out from Joblife in this round. But with Sheriff in hand and Doma going to be late to pivot in here, you almost have to ask yourself, is this going to be another round where that operator is going to have to be saved?
I mean, I wonder, right, like, with the operator having to be saved, how quick now does Joblife, sorry, not Joblife, does Team Liquid Academy go on the hunt for this operator, right? You can already see the players starting to explore the map, and once again we ask, will Doma be able to keep this? As Rex is getting to jump through, he gets found out, and now this map becomes a little bit tighter, a little bit stricter for the operator to hold on. A TP already used and an escape up B long might just mean that Doma's able to escape. It would be the great escape at this moment in time, with so many bodies starting to head towards his position, looking away from GSR. He's caught. What wins out, the outlaw or the operator? It seems as if Doma is still able to complete the great escape.
Yeah, that got a little bit tight. A couple of more seconds there and I think he was maybe done for. But Joblife now in a better state when it comes to their economy. I really want to see how do they utilise this operator? How do they start to activate Doma? Because Team Liquid Academy have been getting onto this A site far too easily these past few rounds, so we need to see some sort of shutdown, and it looks as though the change here is going to be 3 players towards A for Joblife and just leaving Doma propped up on B, but missing out on that first shot. It's not ideal when you have 5 players heading your way.
It's not. The utility does look good on the execute. 1-0, not so much. And, well, everything just being sent into the mixer at this point in time. Chiwa, though, needs to be careful as the players are sent his way. We do get an even trade out, but Mystic from nowhere gets a double. And that could be Joblife ended right here and now. Their economy in a very frail state, and one which finds itself continuing in a cycle of eco and buy. 3 players here to try and swing on to the last remaining runner. That will be advantage taken for the next half. How many can Team Liquid Academy get from this half in the end?
Now we win.
Mystic proven to be quite the super sub for this team so far. And
I
think you had mentioned that he was doing a bit of calling the other day as well for the Team Cairo when he had to sub in. I'm sure I saw a tweet about it as well. Really just hoping to help Team Liquid get over the line and get to that phase 4 of Project Blender here, because of course this is that elimination match. Whoever wins will progress to phase 4 and whoever loses will no longer be in Project Blender. Team Liquid though looking for a mid approach this time around, and it has been Enzo with the Odin in this position previously. Now we're gonna have a different weaponry of choice this round.
Starting to move up, clear through next. 1-0 wins his fight. The trade's not good. Kamek winning out. This is going to be big for Joblife. The problem is there's a lot of players on their own. Untradeable positions. The good thing, the defense, they have information through both duelists being on the extremities.
And that turret from Chiva's just been pulled away seconds before Team Liquid were able to get that space in lane there. But it looks as though Team Liquid are looking to potentially opt for this A space. This fake over towards B is not going to work, Cairo. Doma's propped up on long.
Ooh.
And in saying that, perhaps a Sage Wall and a couple of smokes have worked.
Yeah, and now this gives an opportunity for that spike to go down. Has he even bought a lockdown and dimensional drift? This is a big investment so far from Joblife, and I was about to say Prox could even go further. But we're looking right now at GSR, and he's able to keep himself alive. So it's a big investment from either team. Mystic trying to play off his own cosmic defense. The trench from GSR are good. Team Liquid Academy find 8, and Joblife threw everything to the middle of the table. But unfortunately, going all in does not mean it's going to be all win.
And I'm honestly surprised that Team Liquid were even able to win that out. Not even just, I mean, genuinely, the fact that they've been able to pull over a rotation that heavily off of a Sage Wall and a couple of Astra Stars that I didn't think that anyone was going to be able to even see or hear. It's like you say, it's forced the 2 ultimates out of Joblife. It felt like a moment of, we have the call, we know what we're doing here. I wouldn't normally look at Enzo to be someone that would get those kind of reads wrong, you know, a well-drilled, a well-experienced IGL, and this map, it looks as though Team Liquid are running circles around him.
Yeah, this attack has been so well called. We do have to give a little bit of an asterisk to Joblife at the minute, as this is a roster that is well in development in the off-season, and Prox, well, he looks like he's been developing just nicely. A player who may be a bit unfortunate to miss out on the opportunity of trials, but this spike caught in trepidation and transition. His runner pops out, grabs the phone, kills and spike control. So it becomes a death match, and one which Team Liquid Academy will win in the end, because of course the raid boss of GSR is still up.
Before the switch.
5 HP on runner once you've got those 2 kills. It was always going to be a difficult task to be able to pick up the last 2. And it's like you mentioned, Cairo, Team Liquid's, the calling on this attack is just, it's been so good. It's been so good, considering that they don't have their usual IGL in the roster at the moment as well today. Wanzer has an op this round though, which seems to be a more recent adjustment. I'm intrigued to see how that works out for them this round. And on the other side, Doma's off is going to be completely shut down. I've yet to see what kind of value that Joblife are going to be able to get from this so far. It almost feels forced at this point.
Yeah, it does. It feels harsh. It feels like it's players being pushed back. And at this time, stagnation, a wait. Even Wanzuro has picked up the operator himself. Players start to walk out and try and get towards B long, but when they walk out, Runner's rifle finds the kills that they're looking for. This is what I'm talking about. He's here, there, and there. But we need to see it more consistently. Being that player that can pop off with tier 1 experience. We are going to get the Vice ultimate. Unfortunately for Chiwa, he's been caught out. Kamek, lovely, brightful work. But it's still a 1v2. One which we know Mystic has the capability to win. He just needs to be careful of his long position. You can see just checking that. And the bullets give away the position. So one towards CT, one towards the B long. What does Mystic take first in terms of fighting? Just give himself a little bit of time here, taps the spike. Can he pull out Kamek into his line of sight? No, forced into having to commit to the plan and does go for it. Stunned up though and trying to get to safety. From the safety, he takes his next fight in. So God, Kamek takes him off guard. Will end the half at 9-3.
Around the Joblife, very much needed. And honestly,
switching sides.
Mystic did try and isolate those fights. But I think Kamek has been one of the kind of saving graces for Joblife throughout this defensive half. We've seen him pick up a bunch of multi-frags, and his positioning has always been decent. It's just unfortunate that at times he's maybe been a little bit late to the fight, and I mean, Runner looking to build up a bit of confidence now as well these past few rounds, but I'm hoping that this attack side is where we'll start to see him and Doma causing havoc and start to thrive.
Well, this pistol round, mightily important. It seems as if every time we find ourselves in this position, Billy, we always talk about how important the pistol round could be. It's not as if we've found ourselves in a position just yet where it hasn't meant too much, just because of the gaps that we've seen teams been able to build so far.
Yeah. I mean, if Joblife are able to get this, they're hoping that they can be able to build up a bit of momentum off of that, because it's something that they've not really been able to quite grasp throughout the map so far. This is looking nice so far, sending a little drone through doors to find out any sort of information, but with the way in which Team Liquid Academy are kind of set up, doesn't really find too much value.
I'm out of here.
From Joblife, Fox has done his bargain. Oh, Rex.
One enemy
oh,
remaining.
mate. Spike down.
A.
That's unbelievable, Rex toned. Double digits, Team Liquid Academy. 3 rounds from the finish, and Joblife many rounds away from their opponents.
Another key component of the success that Team Liquid were able to have this year, of course, was Rexstone. I mean,
One enemy remaining.
we were talking about how they've been able to retain some of their star players that found them so much success in Challengers throughout this year, and you see them at the very top of the board throughout this map so far. Synergy that they've been able to build throughout the year, really showing in the case that Joblife maybe not so much time to build that synergy so far.
I think that's what I remember Bacon speaking about the most, is that how good Rexstone actually is, that he felt as if he was one of the top players to get trials from tier 1 players. And it seems as if right now Joblife is the trial that Ace site have been forced away.
Something Joblife need to look for and consider as they look ahead at other rounds is, where is the Vise playing this utility? Because rather than being stacked up towards the site, we do see it covering the spread of mid, and that's a nice concuss coming up from Mystic, followed up by the Vise flash, and it could get sticky for him here in saying that. Fox does come over to support, but there's so much utility being thrown both of their ways. Trade does come through from Chiwa. It's surprising that Mystic was even able to get one in the first place, considering he was full stunned.
4v4. Still equal out, but the time's getting low, and that's going to play into the hands of
Spike
Team
down,
Liquid
mid.
Academy. And with that spike now identified through mid, Rex becomes even more important as he's first point of contact for this transition towards site. As they come
One
through,
enemy
spike
remaining.
is down, and
down
Noma
A.
and no man's land. It's the
Out of
majority
choices.
of players through, and 3 can buy for 2 in Team Liquid's instance.
I would love to see Joblife go for something a bit more explosive in these kind of next attacking rounds, because they've been, you know, poking at places, poking and prodding through these first couple, and whilst I understand they're trying to get a feel for what does Team Liquid Academy's defence look like, they've got that double duelist that they can run and dive in with, and something else they need to consider is baiting out this double wall composition from Team Liquid as well.
Yeah, I think that that's a big point, right? Is the fact that you do have the post-plant utility, or not post-plant utility, the information utility, sorry, for this defense, and the fact that like the Sage Wall plus Vise Wall, and every single time towards a side, like the information's just given away straight away, and it feels as if it's pretty one-dimensional from Joblife. It's Can we get in towards A? The answer is no. Let's walk away. And they are continuously forced out through rifles, through utility, and it does not get any easier whatsoever. No respite. Kamik's lock identified, and Lancero's outlaw finding the kills it needs to. In the end, Team Liquid Academy will move to 12. And Joblife, this is their map pick. They are so off the pace.
And it almost feels as though this timeout coming in Cairo is just a little too late. I mean, we've waited until match point to be able to call it, and it's like you mentioned, losing this drastically so far on your map pick is tragic. And they've not even really had enough attacking rounds to be able to figure out what are Team Liquid doing. So maybe that's why it's come in a little bit later, but even still, I think when you look at this composition in that agent select, you recognize what you need to do on your attack to be able to get through this double wall composition. And it's like you mentioned, it doesn't feel as though they're exploring the map enough quite yet. It's like, okay, let's try and force this one site. Oh, that didn't work. Let's go back to mid. Like, they've not even really recognized that Vi's utility isn't really being propped up on a site. Like, the Vi's is not playing as though they're a site anchor at this point in time. They're playing mid and pivot into wherever they need to be. So hopefully that's something that, you know, the coach has been able to call out here in this timeout to kind of make those adjustments.
No, and it's great that you call that out, right? And again, like, I wonder, right, like, is Joblife's, I guess, iterative state is there in the very early iterations in terms of their playbook looking like, or how the playbook looks like. Oh my god, I can't even speak
English. Words are hard,
really.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Words are hard.
For a man who like speaks for a living, I do struggle sometimes. But the point I'm getting to is the fact that Joblife, like it does feel very rudimental in some stages, and it comes through the gunfights, it comes through the map control, and how Team Liquid Academy continue to dominate the kill feed.
3v5 now, map point. You have to start scratching your head and wondering, how can you make this possible, Joblife? Can you reach into that experience each individual has on this team? And it's going to be good for the first one. Falls through a pivot for Team Liquid here, and that fade haunt is so good.
Ammunition.
Good. That was fine 1-0, but at this point in time, we're looking at a potential map win. 35 seconds remain, and two players, the lone two players of Joblife, Runner and Enzo, need to somehow find all four, which they can't even start to do. Team Liquid Academy will win Peril.
That is rough. That is quite rough if you're Joblife. Yeah, probably not the start that they were expecting, to be quite honest with you. Especially in that last round, it feels as though they couldn't really get off to what they wanted to achieve from whatever was spoken about in that timeout. And I think now you kind of have to reset after a map like that, Cairo. Like, that's rough, but it also shows the strength of players that Team Liquid Academy has. The fact that this is a core that have been able to kind of stick together throughout the year to come into Project Blender now. Up and coming players, like you had kind of mentioned, that are really showing that star power that they kind of have and have had throughout the year.
Yeah, that's it, right. And I think for Team Liquid Academy, while there's been two adjustments here, for the most part the core has been together the longest time. And we've talked about it before, Haza and I, in previous casts, about the fact that sure, there's a core of ex-Fnatic players there, they all missed each other's timing on that roster. Sure, they played under the same IGL, but it's been a long time since then. So for Joblife, yeah, the early states show promising signs, but when you go up against a team like Team Liquid Academy, who have some of the best coaching and resources available to them from a big organisation, things can be difficult to face up against. This is just map 1 though, that's the other thing to consider. We do have a map 2, maybe even a potential agent select of map number 2. It's good to have you alongside me, Billy, because at least you can keep me right in terms of map picks. I was talking about the last round being a Joblife pick, but it is in fact Haven. And for those wondering why is there agent bans, it's because Project Blender has banned agents from what you play. So for instance, Team Liquid Academy, because it was their pick, they will no longer be able to play the agents on the left hand side of the screen any longer. But as for Joblife, those agents, they'll just be banned for this map. They become available in map number 3 if we do get to it. But it looks like Billy, we're going to have...
No, you didn't.
Yeah,
no,
I
you
nearly
didn't
did.
almost.
I nearly did.
You almost called me Hazza. That's
Yeah.
no, that's diabolical for me. I'm not having that.
I'm sorry, mate. It's the blonde hair.
You miss him already.
It's the blonde. I miss him every day. I miss him every day.
That's crazy.
Point being, though, it's the standard. It's the standard kind of agent pool that we see on Haven on Joblife side, but we see the kind of fanatic comp as it's been coined by Team Liquid Academy.
Yeah, and I think that this is a good option for them. I'm really excited to see Prox show what he can do on that ISO. I think that this is a player that, although they had a kind of short stint in VCT, we didn't get to see the actual expectations perhaps that people had of him coming into that Tier 1 league, or even the potential that he's capable of. I think when we look at Joblife's composition, Doma being on that breach is always welcomed in every capacity. So I think that it's really intriguing that they have opted to go for that double initiator, consider that we've seen teams kind of move away from double initiator this year, but of course with the kind of recent changes, kind of makes sense having these players on those agents given the experience, like we've already mentioned 100 times, that they have. And Enzo being on the Sova, bringing out the Odin, we can already expect. It definitely makes sense when we consider the roles that each of the players play across each team.
I think so. And Mystic calling against his former teammate Enzo. They played this map many a times, a home for the Apex 23 roster. And I guess Team Liquid 24 to an extent, as they held the server for 2 years, but Enzo holds on towards C long. Just a moment before GSR quickly trades that out, and we end up back to a 4-on-4. Joblife, their position, they want to try and take A link, where they need to be careful of because there's still players on this A site.
Really looking to explode when we look at the composition of that breach and jet. Going to be pretty fast-paced for Joblife here, and didn't like the look of overstepping onto that A site, so they are going to opt in for this B plant. And Team Liquid, they have a group up as 3 here.
It's a big position to take up as they start to move through. GSR is going to be late to the party and hoping that the main stack of players can distract. So far they've been successful, but GSR isn't. He unfortunately loses out on his life and perhaps the round. It's about to go down, but it's Kamek who takes it up first. And the following pistol round. So well played from him. And Joblife very, very quick in how they took up their fights there.
And we're expecting Joblife to be dominant on this half, I think, considering they did end up having an 11-1 attack half when they played the other day. This is kind of what we're expecting from them on the Haven. We didn't get to see much of their defense because of how dominant the scoreline was, so as many rounds as they can put on the board here will be good for them to hopefully stretch to that 3rd map.
Not a whole lot happening here for Joblife, and I think this is the first time we've actually seen Joblife actually win a pistol, if memory serves me right, Billy. Because both pistols were won out by Team Liquid Academy in the last.
Really slow from Joblife here. Probably anticipating that Team Liquid are up to something given the state of their economy at the moment, and Runner's going to be able to pick up a kill, but it's a question of whether or not he gets overwhelmed on this side of the map. I mean, one enemy has to back up, and back up Runner he will do. He's able to take that out and pick up 2 kills, and I mean, Joblife, they convert that buy round, but at what cost? I mean, they ended up losing a couple of players there, and I don't even... I mean, was Chio able to reclaim a weapon? Just the Marshall, right?
I'm not sure. I mean, the Marshal certainly was there, but the other kill was just in front of him, so I think he might have been able to get... yeah, he was. I was going to say, just to be able to collect the rifle that was at his feet, and he's chucked that over. So, Joblife, the bonus round, looks like it has a bit of bite about this, Billy.
Yeah, for sure. Being able to bring some rifles in. Definitely going to be good for them, but 1-0, I mean, he's on 1 HP and he's still managing to do damage onto Enzo there. That is absolutely ridiculous. What a great start for him. And again, just looking to retake this space again, but one back up there with GSR, and he's going to absolutely clean up that A main space, Cairo. I mean...
Yeah, I think like
really
just...
well played.
Yeah, it's extremely well played. Overall, by Joblife, they have found themselves at a disadvantage towards A lobby, which personally is integral to this map. If you start losing A lobby fights and you can't threaten that as much any longer, then you're going to find yourself struggling throughout the map because it's easy to make decisions. And you can see already Team Liquid Academy are wanting to fight in towards A lobby once again with 3 players strong. And that C-side giving up for a retake.
I think it makes sense, and I think Team Liquid as well, they have the read on this, right? They've not seen any bodies towards A lobby. They're going to presume that, especially with that Sova Dart, that it is going to head towards C, and this is very early Sova already being committed, but honestly, it's done well. It's spliced the map up for those 2 players that were anchored towards that C site, and I mean, Joblife, they've managed to find trades in the way back of it, but Mystic is still here standing strong.
Spike's still in the back pocket, but both, yeah, as you said, Academy players are split up, Billy. It's whether Joblife can get that Spike down.
1-0, I don't know if you want
Last
to take
player
that.
standing.
It's a high risk and unluckily not a high reward for him there, but being able to chip away at some of Chiwo's health here, it's just a question of whether Mystic can get that round on the board, which isn't going to be possible going up against his former teammate in Enzo, as you mentioned already, Cairo.
Yeah, I think like it's a good start from Joblife so far. And I always find Haven an interesting map just on the sheer fact that it's really hard to call which side are going to end up being the bit, being the kind of like more dominant one, right? Whether it ends up being even as well. So far, Joblife, they're starting things off perfectly. So whether they can now begin to continue on, keep this momentum running. GSR's the only rifle, one of the few rifles here. You can see 1-0 wants to try and capitalise off the back of it. That's a lovely sheriff shot, but he can't quite recoup that rifle that was lost.
Spike down
Though, because
A.
Mystic is there to follow up on that trade as 1-0 just swings out for that peak, but Chiwo's been able to get space on this side, and it means that Team Liquid now are just opting to group up together. This is nicely played from them, looking to play with that number advantage that they have. What can they give us coming back into this one though?
Deploying drone.
Sova drone confirms that players are coming out of heaven, but with the Hunter's Furies you've already mentioned going so deep, it's all about how much time they can delay, because not really. There's a lot left already being bumped through early. Chiwa trying to get on an angle but can't do it, so Enzo has to run, has to be quick, and has to win out his fights, which he can't do. And Prox giving us a little bit of BM on towards Enzo.
I think you have to, no? Like, I think when you're going up against names like Enzo, you gotta give it a little bit.
Yeah, of course. Try and upset them a little bit.
I think, as well, you know, being able to get around on the board is good for them. You would expect Joblife are gonna have quite a lead, being able to start on this attack. I think something that they did really well in their game the other day when they played this map that I'd noticed was they kind of condition that fast attack to begin with in those first few rounds, and then they play a lot slower around the map towards the later end of that attack half. Whether or not that's the same game plan here.
Easily defended by GSR, well played from him, and this is something similar to what we seen from the map of Peril. Is Joblife did have a decent start, but from then on, when Team Liquid started to come back into it, it was what we expected. The bullets flying and the bodies dropping. We are still even though.
We're still even, but it's the threat of 1-0 on this B site has been so good so far this series, and
One enemy remaining.
to trade them out, but like I said, it's 1-0.
There.
Standing
Go, go, go.
firmly on that B site, not allowing Joblife to have any sort of control.
Go, go, go.
Again, well, that's just what you're going to see Team Liquid Academy do, what they have in the back pocket. I'm really impressed by 1-0's performances so far. Very clean rifle work overall, and you can see just how much attention he can demand in a round. I felt as if maybe that was just what Team Liquid Academy were maybe missing at times, right? That next step up. And I mean, you have Prox, who has VCT experience as well. Seems like Team Liquid Academy are really, or Team Liquid in their Academy roster, really hedged their bets well with what they could potentially have next year.
Spike down
I have to
A.
agree, and
Right here.
we were just
I
talking
know
about 1-0
exactly
and his
where.
rifle work, often to kind of dealt with this round.
Making cover.
This worked for one, but this Rolling Thunder is coming in fast, and GSR has been able to pick up the Thunder. That's so unfortunate. I mean, it's just GSR holding down this side.
One enemy remaining.
They've seen what they do, and honestly, you blink and you miss it.
Yeah, I think there you go. I think that's it summed up, to be honest. Like, yeah, blink and you miss it. And Joblife are maybe going to be missing their economy state as well, as this is a big swing round coming up, and one which Larson does not want to let go to waste, as they are wanting to win out this next one. Or Team Liquid Academy, the defence, will find themselves in a position where they can start to build up a decent lead.
Yeah, and I want to come back to the kind of 1-0 discussion that we were teeing up before the round started, and how not only how strong his rifle work has been and how he's such a great addition to this Team Liquid Academy roster, but even that round, right? We see him pick up the Outlaw, we've seen him pick up the Operator, kind of weapons that you would expect your Neon to be able to play around. But I think as well, having that diversity within your weaponry pool is so important, especially since the patch changes. And especially since what we saw at Champs, right? We looked at how much value that teams such as NRG were able to have with a weapon such as the Odin. Having players that can pick up your Odin, your Outlaw, your Operator, being able to diversify that weaponry pool that you have within your team is so key. And I think that it's something that we've seen from Team Liquid Academy a lot throughout this series and throughout this event so far. Having Prox on that Odin, having 1-0 being able to pivot to an Operator, to an Outlaw.
Scanning ahead.
Combination with the info dart doesn't find what they're looking for. There's a lot of players outside C, and that allows Team Liquid Academy now to start to move back towards this map, but it feels like the ebb and flow is ships in the night. The big one here, 1-0, getting the information through the bottom of the map.
This positioning could be key as well here, Cairo, but she was ready and able to shut that down. So aware of the positioning. Kamek here in this spot as well that we've not seen throughout this series so far, but definitely propping Kamek up C long and depositing him there was something that we saw against their dominant game on Haven yesterday.
And the players make their way towards the site, and there is the info through the camera, which will be missed. To correct myself there, for whatever reason, for the cipher was still up. So spike goes down. Joblife have found themselves in a decent spot. Team Liquid Academy we've seen before, work back from disadvantages, but with Chia's position and Garage identified, there's the trade. So we're still within one. Mystic noted and taking that position up, and now the Sova now known about. Can Doma hold on here and stop Mystic from getting
player
out?
standing.
And with 3 bodies looking, yeah, it's as simple as that. GSR, this would take something special. A special player, but not a special woman. All equal once again, 4-4. And so far the defence have done a decent showing. Joblife though, if they're on the attack, we really need to see them start to make moves.
For sure, and I think that Joblife now are kind of aware of the spaces that Team Liquid Academy are looking to take. I mean, we see 1-0 all the way up in window and mid there, and the awareness of Chiwa to just be able to check that. I think this retake was almost a little bit rushed from Mystic there. Felt a little bit disjointed from what GSR was hoping to achieve, and again we see the diversity of this Team Liquid Academy's weaponry pool. Like I mentioned previously, Cairo, we have 1-0 on that off and procs on the Odin. It's just whether or not it's gonna work for them this round. Not if Runner's got anything to say about it, but in saying that, it's actually the Sheriff that comes out on top. Forget the expensive weapons, Cairo, because Redstone is an absolute beast.
Of course he is. I mean, spike down in no man's land and 3 bodies here. The Owl Drone confirms that nobody's on the line, so this allows Team Liquid Academy to take what they need and the round as well. Up again on this defence. Joblife need to be careful if they allow this defence to continuously find themselves in a position to punish.
I'm sorry, but they have an Odin, an Operator, and rifles, and Rexstone gets 4 kills with the Sheriff that round because that's all he has. I honestly, I'm so pleasantly surprised, and I shouldn't even be surprised at this point, but time and time again, pleasantly surprised by the amount of talent that we have in challengers that are able to just have highlight moments like that. Such a great individual round from Rexstone.
Just what he can do, what he can provide. That's lovely spam coming through, and Procs getting rid of Chiwa. Is going to be flank control lost later in the round.
Very slow pace coming out from Joblife. We kind of mentioned it previously how they conditioned that fast tempo, but ever since that timeout, these past few have been a lot more about poking and prodding the map and seeing what information they can find out from the defenders here. GSR just gonna see if he can take any contact on that A long space, and Joblife, they don't really want any of it.
Here.
Remaining 4 look to try and challenge 1-0 as the Operator already announces itself. We are going to see the Omen try to reinforce the site, but is he really necessarily needed as 1-0 finds a spot in which to try and work with? But Enzu does take out the Neon. Good utility so far, but not enough to back it up in terms of firepower. Team Liquid Academy are guaranteed at least even on the half, and that's a defensive side haven as well.
Such an impressive showing coming out from Team Liquid Academy throughout this series so far, and she was really unlucky to get taken down there. And I think one of the players we kind of touched on and that I'm looking at is Runner. I really need to see more oomph, more firepower, as you kind of mentioned.
No.
Because the expectations of this Joblife roster, especially going into next year, are high, Cairo, no? Am I wrong in saying that we didn't really expect this Joblife to win out those Challengers France stages?
Spike planted.
Yeah, we're expecting, like, realistically, the way we're looking at this is that Joblife should be in that split 2 playoffs that we know is coming up. And they need to be shown us much more than this, because the Team Liquid Academy roster, while a top tier 2 side, absolutely showing exactly what can happen when you don't show respect, when you haven't got the right practice and the right performances that is needed. As Rexstone once again takes control of the server and puts Team Liquid Academy to a guaranteed advantage in the next half.
Last round in the half.
It's been so clean from Team Liquid Academy so far. As you mentioned, looking to secure that spot in Phase 4. Getting to go up against some Tier 1 teams would be such a great experience for the squad. Never wants to shy away from the challenge, as shown here as well. You can see the pings on the map coming out from Joblife, looking to hopefully let their presence be known on C-Long and then perhaps explore the mid part of the map later on. But it's a question of Chiwa. Does he expect the op to be here? He's going to be shut down very early on into the round, Cairo.
Yeah, a human flash being sent his way is not ideal as Runner now begins to lead the line for the rest of the team. There is still a trap played out, one which will be played off of the paranoia, and Rex toned from deep absolutely takes out Runner. So a 5 versus 3 and one which you can already see an ultimate on the ISO. That would take one more out of the site hold. And Liquid so close already on the angle and the ultimate used. It's the breach of Doma caught out, just one remaining. As Prox can't quite win this fight, he struggles to, leaving just Enzo all alone. And Team Liquid Academy once again will find 8 in their first half.
And it feels like Joblife don't know what they're trying to do at this point. The plan felt good, but the retake was just better, honestly. Like, if we're going to put it harshly, Team Liquid's just so ready for whatever fight that they look to take. The protocols in place of having that ISO ult to be able to help get back into the site, and I mean, it's unlucky if you're Joblife. You're looking at each other thinking, where do we go from here? But swapping sides now. Hopefully this defensive half can get them into a bit of a better headspace. I think, again, I'm looking at Runner and Doma really struggling to get activated throughout this map at least.
On the defence side, you're hoping that there's going to be a lot more shown. As already, Joblife have got so deep.
Look at GSR though.
He's the one who's going to be holding on to deny. As the players can't quite cross that trip without giving away the info. Well, there's GSR and there's the kill. So while the rest of the bodies now look to try and reinforce GSR's position, they'll clean house. And yeah, a flawless pistol. 3 out of 4 so far played for Team Liquid Academy. Just shows you how good they can be.
And the frustration of GSR even playing in that position. I mean, Kamek didn't even expect anyone to be there. Why on earth would they be in their own spawn when they're planting on a site? I can understand why you'd be like, why is this guy here? I'd be like that too. But I think it's the quick reaction from Team Liquid Academy as well to follow up on that crunch by wide swinging A short as well, right? They just completely disallowed Joblife from even being able to get in towards that space to come into the site and even attempt getting close to the spike.
It's just incredible how quickly they are able to react. I mean, it's a split up position at the moment. And they're waiting to see if there's any reaction of the utility used on C. They haven't seen much off the back of, but the proactivity through a shot has been seen, which has given a big signal for, hey guys, let's go and get this spike down on C.
Spike planted.
Chiwa just biding his time, waiting for the troops to be rallied. It's a question of whether or not Liquid look to clear out this space, and honestly, the timing coming through to window, yeah, it's Mystic's holding that paranoia, but a little too risky. On Zeru though, the stab in the back. She was able to pick up one, and again, it is just Liquid running around them players.
One enemy remaining.
Trying to get out of CT is a problem as well. Overall, the anti-eco looks to be done here. And it's as simple as that. Double digits found here, Billy, by Team Liquid Academy. And a very quick start for them in this second half. I like the reactions. Again, it just looks like a very well-drilled team, and that's what we know a coach like Bacon can do for you. And also, I mean, they're missing their IGL of Cooper. Yeah, sorry, I just had a brain fart. But
no, it's okay.
With Mystic filling in for that, it feels like he's not I don't want to say he's not needed to call, but like it feels like his job has been made so easier because he's just filling into a system.
Yeah, it's so well drilled. It's just so it's the structure that Team Liquid Academy and Bacon being a key component of that has been able to build throughout the year with the players that they have and the talent that they have as well. When you have a team that have these kind of protocols in place that are able to jump into those slots and, like you say, have the reactions that they've been having, it just goes to show.
Oh, the rifle of Chiwa looks clean though. There has been a decent bit of damage on either side. The health pool, not much disparity between the two. But it seems again, one that we'll be finding ourselves on a C finish. GSR maybe looking to be a bit too cheeky there. And there is still that Cypher trap on C long, so the players will know that nobody has taken that position. The two CT players need to be careful as they move through into the smoke. The trade's there. Advantage Team Liquid Academy. Both are low, and one bullet from Runner would be enough to finish them both out. Now he has to play against Prox, who has been unbelievable so far, but he can't do it right here and now. Runner answers back. And there is only 5 rounds between them.
Easy.
Man, there's something about Mystic and Boo Boos on that site on Haven, on C site on Haven. There's something about Mystic making some Boo Boos. I don't know what that TP was. It was something. But Joblife being able to at least make this feel a bit more competitive is definitely welcomed.
Yeah, I think so, right? I think he's always been good at that.
Making mistakes on C site.
Oh, sorry.
Mystic.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean that mystically. I'm sorry. Please don't watch back the VOD. I just had a brain moment. He's always... yeah, I'm sorry, mate. I'm going to just take a moment and allow Billy to cast.
You just breathe. It's okay, bro.
Enemy
This drone. Again, GSR... Sorry, Enzo, looking to find that A lobby space. I mean, look at the pivot that Joblife are having because of this one fight that's happened. They're relying on Kamek's position so much here, just sitting with the judge. And the deep trip as well that Joblife have been able to get on mid. I don't know if you should... Okay, they're going to drone it. That's good, but Kamek is, of course, going to step in front of the drone and... I mean, Runner could overextend here, you could argue.
Yeah, and this overextension could be very easily punished with no tradability. Runner one to run for the hills and just able to escape the ISO ultimate. So 1-0 tries to clear himself, but I mean, I was going to say he's done it solo a bit worryingly. Chiwa's rifle once again. The big man who was denied a T1 opportunity last year looks to fight for it this year. It's up to 1-0, who will be known about because of the neural theft. Ultimate in pocket. As both players head his way, he does have one slide back up after netting 2 kills so far in this half. But as the players come through, here's the audibles. It should be easy enough, but the bullets do not connect. Joblife back in this.
Showing everyone that they do have a bit of bite behind their bullet, and I think as well, moving on to this defensive side, didn't really know what to expect from Joblife because they did have such a dominant scoreline in their game yesterday, right? You hadn't really seen any defensive half on Haven from this mix so far. Not from this mix, but from this team so far. Still, the scoreline is starting to get closer and closer, Cairo, which is what we wanted to see. We want Joblife to keep fighting back.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, Doma's gonna pie. He's 3 kills and 13 deaths.
Oh no. I mean,
Gun
he can
here.
buy at least one round, but I guess like if they lose this, at least they've got the comfortability. No, he's done it. He's been pied.
He's been fired.
Oh, mate, that's tough. And do you know what the worst part is? I guess the best part is at least he won't become a meme because there's still a few rounds left that he will have to die in. I guess that's copium.
Or get kills.
Yeah, or get kills. It's pure copium.
Copium, yeah. It's okay. 4 here. Chiwa came up big in the previous round. It's just a question of what he can get done here. With not much health left, it's a tall order. 1 HP. He's going to catch Mystic off guard.
Last player standing.
But the shots are windy from Enzo.
Yeah, there's definitely a breeze in here. And the breeze opened up by Team Liquid Academy. So 11-6, the scoreline grows, and we are 2 rounds away from a series finish here. And a very quick day for you and me, Billy, let's be honest, through these series. Didn't expect it to be as dominant as that. I thought this was going to be like 2-3 map days.
Bro. Yeah, same. I mean, it's my bloody first day on the broadcast, and it's like, oh, okay, well, there was that. No, I definitely... I mean, how do you feel about this, Cairo? Because on one hand, you know, we know that you have those kind of like personal biases toward Team Liquid Academy in the sense that they're your boys, they're your Challengers Northeast boys, but you did initially have Joblife going 3-0 in Swiss stage in your caster predictions. So realistically, how do these two match up to you?
I think like just to give myself some copium on myself, I think that
10 seconds, let's go. 10 seconds.
Joblife.
Timeout's running.
Right, okay, quickly. Okay. So Joblife, I think that it's a newest roster. They've kind of just put themselves together. They're figuring themselves out. There's problems. It's like the initial teething stage. Team Liquid Academy, it's the roster that I expected them to be. The new additions look good, and I think the system put in place by Bacon looks unchallengeable at the minute, unless you're a tier 1 team, apparently.
That was definitely longer than 10 seconds, but we'll allow it because we're 5 seconds before we get into the round now. In Joblife, their buy is a little bit broken, which we need to see some sort of innovation come out from them this round, I think is fair to say, given that Team Liquid Academy are going to move on to map point should they win this one, and that's a good start from Runner, to be fair to him.
I know exactly.
Taken down by Redstone, unfortunately, who has just been an absolute beast so far this game, Cairo.
He really has, and Prox, although gets caught by the Hunter's Fury, that allows GSR to get that spike down. So 1 versus 2 for GSR, and he manages to escape that ill drone. There is, I don't know if there's any cages on the Cypher, but that's one to note if Chiwa does get on towards that spike. So no, there's the first cage out, first player seen, GSR not able to clutch up. We're back within 4, 11-7. And yeah, I guess like Billy right now, Joblife not completely out of this.
Yeah, not completely out of it. It's not over till it's over, mate. I think even if it got to 12, you know, not to not to bring Prox down, but you know, he's had a couple of times where it maybe gets to 12 and can't quite close out a map. Of course, that was the unfortunate status of Gentlemates towards stage 2 of VCT EMEA, but looking to kind of overcome those demons now that he's found himself on this Team Liquid Academy roster. And honestly, the ults that are coming up for Joblife, looking good for them to be able to get back into this and make it, you know, the map that we expected it to be, Cairo. Yeah,
and I think that's the thing about Prox. Oh, I was going to say, I'll come back to this conversation in a minute, is Mystica is caught out here. And ultimates that Joblife have in back pocket are going to be good for any retake or stall out if they need to. So Team Liquid Academy, who are yet to actually burn a timeout, I think are in a good position here because Bacon can interject at any moment in time. He feels that the team are not living up to standard. At this moment in time, Runner feeling the confidence.
But with that ISO shield against the Outlaw, it can be challenging. Ends up using a shot
it's
there.
You and me.
I mean, he's just going to pop the ult straight off the bat. Wanzuru as well has been able to clear things up, and Prox again showing dominance on this ISO so far throughout the map. Chi was just going to be a bit too late to the party. What can you buy for him, Enzo?
That's the problem. So when Enzo needs to buy something, and the fact that Team Liquid Academy are ready to fight back in already just shows. GSR shock good, and well, the possession of Chi were giving away all the positions. He needs clean headshots, but nothing clean about this one. Team Liquid Academy are on the home straight, hand on the finish line. They just need to pull themselves over now.
And I think it really has just been, you know, prime time from Team Liquid Academy today. It's definitely been a good day for them so far, and I think Wanzuru and this man on your screen, Prox, really showing how lethal they can be on that double duelist.
Yeah, that's the problem when you give people like Prox, like 1-0, even GSR, a little bit of confidence. It can easily turn into a problem that is insurmountable. Everything being chucked into this one by Doma, but one paranoia might be enough to stop this full push. He needs to be careful from behind, because Mystic is there. A nice pivot. This is on the seaside, so no more TP plays. Please, Mystic, and there's not. He's going to be TPing Team Liquid Academy into phase 4.